Good evening, Facebook. We're just waiting for a few viewers to get online. But we're going to talk about agriculture today. And again, I am here in my home because of Covid-19. It has caused us to be locked down. Just returning from Jamaica. And I'm coming back with some news that can probably help us to move forward in our pursuit to help Jamaica recover. I know that many people from around the world are very interested in seeing Jamaica be that fruitful garden that it once was many, many years ago. Many people that we speak to are disappointed in what has happened to agriculture in Jamaica over the years. You have tons of old farmers, people that have been in agriculture or have been a part of agriculture over the years that are in some way affected by what agriculture looks like then and what agriculture in Jamaica looks like today. So today we're going to talk about something that the Prime Minister of Jamaica most recently spoke about. I don't know if everyone knows, but the Prime Minister, and maybe I should put that within the post, that the Prime Minister made a speech, and he said that agriculture, while we're going through this COVID-19 problem, is going to be something that is very important to the future of Jamaica. So many people are probably have land in Jamaica. Many people probably have family members in Jamaica that can be utilized to help a whole nation recover. Now, it's weird that myself, Neil Curtis, would be so interested in helping, in agriculture. I'm a business person. I'm somebody that does business. But boy, when I went to Jamaica back in 2013 and looked at all the statistics, looked at all the food imports, close to $1 billion worth of food being imported into the country, I just thought that Jamaican diaspora, people that live abroad that are Jamaicans, that's all I'm talking about, could have an impact on food production and helping to feed and put our own people back to work. Now, why? We are the ones that have to send that money through Western Union, through MoneyGram, through JN Money Transfer, every week, every month, whatever it may be. And I'm certain that almost every Jamaican can attest to the fact that they are sending money some way back home to help their loved ones. Now, I'm not saying that we don't want to help our loved ones, but is it sustainable? Really? Just let's think about that. Now, is the money that you're sending home really sustainable? Is there an investment there? In other words, when you send that money to Jamaica, does it help to build a house? Does it help to help someone to get themselves into business? Does it help to change the lives of our loved ones? Or does it just cover a gap? And that's the question that we must ask ourselves today. If it's just covering a gap, then it's not sustainable, and it means that you're going to continue to give and give and give, and it'll never end. So we looked at agriculture, and we saw where agriculture was a sector that hadn't had so much movement then, if you want to call it that. And we looked at all the variables. We looked at why the sector is the way it is. And we realized, just doing our what we call investigative analysis, that Jamaica could become the Mecca for organic food production. Now, why do we say that? Because, every person will ask, well, why do you say these things, right? And yes, someone just said, no, you have to teach people how to fish. And that's what we have to do with our loved ones, of course, is teach them how to fish instead of continually just giving them the fish. But what we say here is Jamaica could become the mecca for organic food, in our opinion. Okay? And the reason why we're saying it is because there are so much lands that you drive along through the roads, you drive into the hillsides, you meet people abroad that tell you they have 10 acres, they have 50 acres, they got 75 acres, they got 100 acres laying somewhere in the middle of Jamaica that is untouched. Now, why is untouched so important? And people need to understand this. Untouched land is very important. Why? Because it qualifies for organic food certification. Okay? It's very simple. If the land has not been farmed, then that land qualifies for organic food certification. That means that worldwide, there are markets that will buy your food if it is organically certified. And not only will they buy it, but they are willing to pay a premium for that food. So if you have regular lettuce, it'll sell for 99 cents a pound. You have organic lettuce, it'll sell for $2.50. This is an $80 billion worldwide market, and Jamaica does not represent any of the production in it. Okay? So everybody's wondering, oh, well, why Farm Up Jamaica is talking about organic food? Organic food is where we have to go. We don't have enough land to compete with the Mexicos, with the Canadas. We don't have that type of land space. So we have to get a bang for the buck, is what we call it. You have to get as much as you can get out of the small amount of land, because we don't have the amount of land that's necessary to make this a huge, large-scale farming operation. Now, in getting the bang for the buck, there's going to be standards and regulations, right? So you're not just going to go out and grow food haphazardly, putting all the chemicals and the worst things on food. It has to have a structure. It has to be done the right way. And most of our Jamaicans that are farming in Jamaica are using some very antiquated technologies that was from 100 or 120 years ago, but now they're adding chemicals to it, and they're figuring that that's going to make it better. So COVID-19 has caused a global impact that can change the trajectory of global food security, right? And so what that means is you're going to start to see countries that may not be wanting to export their food right away because they want to make sure that they have enough food for their own country instead of sending it out abroad. And you'll see other, people just being very wary or leery of food that's coming from other places, because now they see that food could also be contaminated, right? We talk about contaminated food. We talk about, even this virus and other things. It's probably won't be long before you hear countries trying to grow enough food in order to not have imports come into their countries, because they just fear what could come along with that food. Just remember, 2 years in succession so far, right? The United States of America has put a ban on romaine lettuce, okay? Not only for export, but for local eating. That means that clean food is what we're going to need in order to take us through this COVID-19. Clean food, not just necessarily food, because some people are locked into just buying anything that they see on the shelf. And here is what it's going to take for us to move forward. COVID-19 has taught many of us how to become more conscious about our sanitary conditions, our surroundings. It's taught us how to sanitize ourselves. It's taught us. And so don't think you're going to walk out of a COVID-19 back into a world that is, let's say, unsanitary. You're going to continually want that, and especially in your food, right? So whether we like it or not, our food its cleanliness will become very important to us. Okay? The impact that COVID-19 is having on the world is also causing Mother Nature to reclaim much as what has been lost. All right? There are stories of ships, right? Ships that are not returning to certain ports in different places, where now they're starting to see the dolphins return because these ships were in and out. They were, breaching Mother Nature, if you want to call it that. There's places where the seals are now returning because the people are inside their homes and confined or quarantined. So here is the chance for a country like Jamaica to get back on board and start to produce. Farm Up Jamaica is a non-profit. We're a 501c3. We're formed in the United States by the Northeast Diaspora, which I'm a part of. And over the last 6 years, we've done enough research and development in the farming sector, in agriculture, in Jamaica, to be able to come to you tonight and give you the state of affairs for our organization and what it's going to take for everyone that is Jamaica or loves Jamaica to get involved. And I say or loves Jamaica because we are very clear that we believe that even some people that are not Jamaican love Jamaica more than even we do. Okay? I'll tell you, in 2016, we brought 600 tourists to Jamaica. 600 tourists. One time. To plant ginger. They didn't want to go to the beach. They didn't want to go in the pool. They didn't want to sit in the hotel. They wanted to come and plant ginger. It tells us that there are opportunities for tourism. We filled a whole hotel and spilled over into the Half Moon and spilled over again into the Hilton Hotel, right? Because people just wanted to touch the soil. They wanted to be one with the soil. We might not want it. Many Jamaicans say, oh no, farming, a dirty thing. But you don't realize that that's where your food comes from. And if we don't get this thing straight and we don't understand the importance of food production, healthy food production, what we call climate smart organic agriculture, right? So again, it's not the standard agriculture. It's not the agriculture that everybody is saying, oh, let's just get some money and pump it into agriculture. It has to be done with a methodology. It has to be done with technique and strategy. And this is what we've come up with over the last 6 years. So over the last 6 years, we have done enough research and development and practical farming to be able to come and give you the state, like I said, of affairs for the organization. In bringing some of the major, in the whole beginning of everything, the major concerns were things like antiquated farming practices, overusage and misusage of chemicals, engaging Jamaican youth, right? So when I talk about engaging Jamaican youth, most Jamaicans, and you've probably heard these sayings before, right? Because sometimes we kill our own selves. You'll hear someone say, children are to be seen and not heard, right? So now, if we maintain that type of methodology, that children are to be seen and not heard, then where is farming going? Because if we don't teach those young people what it is going to take for them to become the new soldiers for food security, okay, then guess what? We will have no food to eat in the future. So sustainability, right? And using all of these techniques that I'm talking about to basically become a model for other countries around the world. We've been called by Europe, we've been called by other countries within the Caribbean to come out and to help them facilitate something like a Farm Up Jamaica. The percentage of farmers that are young farmers are very low. In fact, what we found is that most farmers that claim to be farmers, which are over 200,000 farmers in Jamaica, roughly 10% of the working population, are 60 and older. 60 years old or older, okay? We realize that proper mechanization to create arable lands, even on the Jamaican hillsides, are going to be very important, right? Because if you look at the World Bank's estimate of how much arable land Jamaica has, the number is very low because they're only counting the flatlands. But you and I know that most of the farming goes on in the hills and the hillsides, right? So here again is where we have to come together, every one of you, right? If you're interested in what I'm talking about, just like what we're talking about, or put your name or message us, right? And say that I'm interested and I want to be a part of this. Message Farm Up Jamaica and we will get back to you. Sustainable agriculture practices is what we will need to carry us into 2100, right? That's like 80 years from now. But if it's sustainable, if we start it now, sustainability will actually automatically take us into the year 3000 even, right? Because we're going to do all the things that are necessary to keep this thing going so it doesn't fall apart. Again, we have been practicing. We have been checking out what's wrong. We have been filling those gaps in finding out, what can we do organically that the chemical things would do. And we've come up with solutions to problems. It's been a tough 6 years, mostly because the Jamaica agriculture theory is based on very old practices. So most farmers believe that they already know what it is that they need to be doing, although they haven't learned much of any new skills. And a lot of the people that are sent into Jamaica bring skill sets from other parts of the world. And so you have to realize that Jamaica is a very unique location. We're very natural. It's very organic. It's a very clean environment. So you have these guys that are probably in Australia or somewhere in Germany or wherever in the world, but it's not Jamaica. So what we've done is we've come up with strategic solutions that will work in Jamaica. That's why we call it Farm Up Jamaica. I've had people come down from Vermont, have people come down from Brazil, other places that came to show us, teach us how to farm in Jamaica. And what we've learned is that the things that we were able to test and trial and error, we did much better with than what people were bringing into us from other places around the world. Our practical solutions are very simple. Our solutions are based on Jamaica. They're not solutions found in cold weather countries. They may not come from some place like, where the most intelligent person in agriculture may come from. But what happens is there's a certain way that Mother Nature has to be treated in Jamaica. And if you do that, you get maximum production. And when I tell you maximum production, it's because I've seen it for myself. We've taken students, young people from schools, over 600 of them that we've trained so far, from 2016 until now. And when we took those students, all we could hear from our Jamaicans that would live abroad, in many cases, would say, oh no, young people don't want to do anything in Jamaica. We found that to be not true. We found that young people really want an opportunity. So what it's going to take from us as Jamaicans that live abroad is we're going to have to stick that hand out, lend a hand to get someone else going, like kickstart someone. Instead of having someone work for you, get them going in their own business and try to guide them the right way to be sustainable, right? Your benefit may come at a later date, but sometimes we're looking for too much from a place that cannot give right now. The key is to build the foundation. So every time that you heard us out here asking for donations or asking you guys to give, it's so that we could pay those young people that they didn't come on the farm and work for free because they need that stipend. They have needs just like you and I. Young people want to buy something to eat. Young people need to take a bus. Young people need to travel or pay a phone bill. That's the same as you do. So what we have to do now is just recognize that young people need to be seen and need to be heard. I know that the saying goes, young people are not, whatever I told you earlier, not to be seen and not to be heard. But again, we have to get past those antiquated methodologies, those thought processes that hinder us from creating a future, right? A lot of the practices that are done in the Eastern Hemisphere are not practices that will work in the Western Hemisphere. And so when you go out and you say, you know what, I'm going to get the best agronomist from Finland, and I'm going to get the best person from China to come and help us to plant up and farm up Jamaica. Many of those guys come on Jamaica's land and they fail. I've seen it myself. I've invited many of them. I've had people from Mexico. I've had people from Australia, Finland, Denmark come and to help, help us. We were looking for help. We want people to come and help. But like I say, Jamaica agriculture is very unique. And here is a chance for us again to get involved, come together and work with Jamaican government, because the Jamaica government, the Prime Minister just recently said that agriculture is something that he's going to focus on. So here is an opportunity within the scope of all the agriculture. There's going to be this other scope where what we call the organic agriculture. And this is where we need to, and I know, if you live abroad, that organic food is very expensive and it's very sought after, right? So even when I was during COVID-19, I just took a walk out last night looking in a supermarket for organic romaine lettuce, and I couldn't find it. I saw other organic things that people probably don't use that often, but my organic romaine lettuce was not available to me. That means that as the time goes on, the food supply may be getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And now is the opportunity in Jamaica for you and I to shake hands with whoever the powers that be, and let's start to make food production happen. We've worked with so many different agencies: RADA, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Northern Caribbean University. In fact, we have a big project with the Northern Caribbean where we're going to be growing organic food to help reduce the importation of foreign food into Jamaica. That is a partnership between Northern Caribbean University, the Ministry of Farm Up Jamaica, and the Ministry of Agriculture. And then most recently, we involved the Heart Trust Heart Trust NTA, which is going to be providing us with the young people that want to learn agriculture and want to become agriculturists or organic growers. We don't even call them farmers anymore. I call them young soldiers for food security, because that's what they are. These are the people that will be securing your food. These are the people that we have to respect and honor. These young people. The people that we have trained so far to date range between the ages of 17 and 24, 25 years old. Okay, these are the people that they told me, no, these people will not want to do work. Young people don't want to work. Forget about it. All right, we found that to be not true. So not everything that you believe and you've heard out of Jamaica may not be true. Okay, so we have to make our own decisions. And if you want to help, then you need to get on board. You need to inbox us. You need to text us. You need to email us and get involved in what we're doing in Jamaica. First, let's talk about seeds. Okay? And I'm getting into the technical part of farming, because I don't know that people really understand that we are really true to this. We know this. We have worked within it, and we're up to our eyeballs in dirt and soil. We understand this. First, I'm going to talk about genetically modified seeds. These are lots of seeds that we see in Jamaica. People planting GMO seeds. And if you will realize that a lot of these yields that come from these GMO seeds are not up to par. So you don't get the same yield, you don't get the same size, right, as what you would get if you were planting the organic crop. And most people believe that because you're doing organic, that the crop is going to be smaller. We've again dispelled that theory. That is not true, right? We grow one head of romaine lettuce, and the one head of lettuce, organic, weighs 1 pound. That means if you grew 100,000, you would get 100,000 pounds of romaine lettuce. Simple. What do? We do simple techniques that work in accordance with Mother Nature. All right? We make sure that the plants get water at a specific time every day. We make sure that seeds are organic, non-GMO seeds. We make sure that the people that are caring for the crop, the young people, that we didn't just teach them how to farm for money, but we taught them how to farm for the love of agriculture and the love of the country that they are providing food for and feeding people. We don't want anybody to die from our food that we produce. And now whether that be because it was contaminated and mishandled, or whether that has to do with just a long-term consumption of chemicals. We don't want that. We want people to live long. We want Jamaican people to taste the food that they used to taste like when it was 50 or 60 years ago. Because I had brought down a gentleman most recently from the States, and he tasted some of the food, the ackee and the this and the that, and he realized that the food that he was tasting now did not taste the same as the food that he would taste many, many years ago. All right? And so we want to bring back that old-time taste. Because when agriculture was productive in Jamaica, it was organic. It was before all the chemicals. It was before all the pesticides. It was before all of the fertilizers. When you remember your grandfather out in the field, he was farming organically because he didn't have access. Those things probably weren't even invented at that time. Organic chemicals for agriculture are probably only about 100 to 120 years old. Right? So just think about that. We were feeding this world, this earth, 100 years prior to now, without chemicals. So what makes it so impossible to actually farm now and get the same yields or even better yields? What I saw pineapple. I'm going to stick up in and talk about pineapple. I go to Jamaica and I look at pineapple. They have some pineapples this big. I've never seen pineapples this big in my life. And I've spoken to numerous pineapple farmers. And I say, why are the pineapples in many cases this small? Well, they said they remember when the pineapple started out big. But then they've chemicalized and chemicalized and chemicalized and chemicalized until now the pineapples are very small. So now, here it is. You realize that what you are doing is genetically modifying the pineapple, because all of the new pineapple that you're planting is also coming in very small, right? So it's not just that one crop. All the crops are now becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. I'll never forget another story. I got a call from some St. Thomas onion farmers. These farmers were experiencing a problem with onions, and they didn't know what to do. They said that they planted onions and they had a wonderful season with onions. They made a lot of money on onions, but now they came back to the ground to plant onions again, and the onions won't grow anymore. See, this is what gets all the farmers discouraged in Jamaica, by the way. When they try to go back into the land and they realize that the land will not produce anymore. Why wasn't the land producing? The land was over-chemicalized. You see, the thing about an onion is that the root system is very delicate. Onion is a very strong crop, by the way. Once the root system does catch, you're going to have an onion. But there's that little fine line of the roots, taking into the ground and strengthening themselves. And if you don't have the right nutrient or you have too many chemicals in the soil, that onion is not going to grow. So there's no one in the onion production, whether in America or in Jamaica, now with my information and my technology that we understand, can tell me that onions are going to do continuously well under chemical production. If you're going to keep moving the ground from place to place, then yes, you can grow onions, but that's not sustainable. If you want to farm at the same location or with by rotating your crop, then you will need to farm organically or semi-organically at least, right? So these are takeaways. These are things that we have learned, and these are things that you should learn, because sometimes you hear a lot of stories out there and you have to wonder what's real and what's not. And we're here to tell you that, sorry about that, the research and development has been done, and here is time for us to put on some real action. The government is talking about farming. The government is saying that they want to include agriculture in their portfolio. We want to reach out, and we're welcoming the collaboration with government. We want to be a part of that. We want Jamaican diaspora to become a part of that solution. We want you guys to put your lands that you have laying out in Jamaica, not doing anything with, back into production. Because again, if we really produce the amount of food that is being imported, which is $1 billion, what it does is say that there's $1 billion on the table for different people or investors to partake in. All right. We spoke about seeds, and I told you about having good, clean seeds. And the next thing I want to talk to you about is seed saving. So the first thing we teach when we start to teach students about agriculture is we teach them about saving seeds. That means that the seeds that you planted are the same seeds that you need to take back out, and you need to put them in an area where those seeds will be available to you for future planting, or you can sell those seeds to other farmers that you'd like to see planting good, healthy food. Seeds need to be ones that are naturally good for Jamaica also. You cannot use seeds that grow well in the northeast of America and bring them to Jamaica and think that they're going to do well in Jamaica. They're not made for Jamaica. The latitude is different. The longitude is different. The heat is different. The sunlight is different. The time that the sun is out during the day is different. Everything is different. These are the things that I see in Jamaica that people don't pay much attention to, but are very, very important. When you're saving seeds, you want to save the correct seeds. The seeds that you collect out of the fruit of your best fruit. So when you get your first fruit, like Miss Cole, if you looked on the feed, there's a lady by the name of Miss Cole. She works with Farm Up Jamaica. And she just said, make sure that you're harvesting the seeds that come out of the first fruit that you are, first vegetable that you grow, because that's going to be your best seeds to save. Secondly, we want to talk about the human part of this, and making sure that you get the youth involved. If you have a community that you come from and the youth are not playing a role in your agriculture, then there's a part of the equation that is missing. It's going to be important that we bring the youth back into agriculture, right? We have tested and identified what organic seeds will grow the best with the highest yields. If you come to Farm Up Jamaica, we can sell you seeds that you can buy directly from us. We can sell them to you in the United States. We can sell them to you in Jamaica. But we know exactly what seeds work in Jamaica because we have trialed them, we have tested them. We know. We've grown lettuce, we've grown tomatoes, we've grown spinach, We've grown, oh man, you name it. Bananas and plantains, and even tested sugarcane to see what would make the sugarcane grow better. But again, those are just situations where we found that soil is a problem in Jamaica, and the over chemicalization of soil over time has destroyed even the sugarcane industry in many cases. We've done some work that we call climate smart work. And that work is rebuilding of and reconstructing soil, right? Reconstructing lands that were maybe under bauxite harvesting and over chemicalized lands. And we've turned those lands into well producing, well fertilized, brought wildlife back into the soil. You look under the soil, all of a sudden there's earthworms, there's macrobiology. We have the skill set. We can help you guys to accomplish that. Growing larger crops in a shorter time frame organically. Again, these are things that we know how to do by reconstructing soil, adding just what Mother Nature is asking for in the soil and nothing more. And you find that you get a fuller and better production over time. You know, we've learned how to rid pests like the beet armyworm that was plaguing Jamaica for many, many years, you know, as it relates to onions. And even now in onion production, people can't produce onions because of this beet armyworm. But we've taken into consideration what the beet armyworm likes, what they don't like, and have been able to change the environment in many of the farms that grow onions. Now, you know, to the point where we had, you know, TVJ came to one of the areas and did interviews and found that all the other farmers were eaten down, and came to our farm and realized that we were the only farm where beet armyworm did not affect our crop. I mean, that is huge, because you have to understand, when you talk about beet armyworm infestation, they call it beet army for a reason, because when you see one, you see a million. It means that there's tons of armyworms out in the field eating away your crop. Within 24 hours, you can lose all of your crop production. And so I'm telling you this to let you understand that these organic technologies that we've pioneered can now be used, and we want to sit with you. We want to take you back into Jamaica. We want to work with your communities to see how we can take these things back down and help young people and farmers that are currently farming into changing their ways to some more environmentally friendly techniques that will literally rid them of the pests and keep agriculture alive. The youth, like I say to you, is very important. If we don't understand, if you don't have youth, then farming will die. And that's very simple. That means that if the youth do not become a part of the equation, and children are to be seen and not heard, then guess what? Agriculture will die. And that's a simple fact. If you have loved ones, if you have people that are living in Jamaica, you have grandchildren, you have nieces and nephews, you have sons and daughters, we have to inspire them. Even if they want to become a doctor, even if they want to become a lawyer, that's fine. But there's nothing wrong with learning a little bit of agriculture. Because there's nothing wrong with going into your backyard. As a matter of fact, we plan to start a whole series on YouTube where we're going to start teaching people how to actually do what we keep talking about here online, so that you guys can actually go and do it. We have our trays, and since we're all quarantined at home, there's no reason why you can't wake up in the morning, come to Farm Up Jamaica, and let us show you how to plant some lettuce, show you how to plant some cherry tomatoes or some spinach or some broccoli, right? So we're going to start that series that you can literally get up and learn how we do this, and you can continue to go ahead and get other people involved in what it is that we're talking about here. We are asking the government of Jamaica to become a part of what it is that they are wanting to carry out. The diaspora is very interested. A matter of fact, back in November, I hosted in Queens an investment forum. We had people out the eardrums. There was too many people there. Okay, the fire marshal had to come and take people out of the venue because too many people want to really invest in Jamaica. They realize that we have to find other places to live because here in the United States may not be so livable. As time goes on, different things keep changing and the environment keeps changing, and it's saying that maybe we need to find our home, right? And so we brought out all these people and they sat in the audiences, and they when I mentioned agriculture, everybody got excited. When I mentioned agriculture as an investment, everybody got excited. Why? Because they know they have those lands sitting in Jamaica, not doing anything. They know that they have their loved ones sitting in Jamaica, in many cases, not doing anything. And here is a wonderful place to put idle hands to idle lands and eat what we grow and grow what we eat, right? I've heard these things, over the years that I've been going into Jamaica, right? Put idle hands to idle lands, eat what you grow what you eat. These are the things that we can't just talk about, but we have to be a part of. We have to start to get involved in what it is that we're talking about here. I know that, just me coming here tonight may give some great inspiration, and that's fine. But if there's no action connected to what you're seeing here right now, then all of this is in vain. When, again, you might see Farm Up Jamaica on Facebook, there's a donate button on the top. We ask you to donate. Why do we ask you to donate? And you must say, well, why you want money? Why do you want money? I'll tell you why we need money. Because we have certain projects that we must carry out. One, the youth. When we bring the youth every weekend to come and learn agriculture, we have to make sure that they get a stipend. That stipend cannot come out of thin air. It needs to come from you. We need your help. So whether you put $20 or you put $50, in many cases, our own small group that is running Farm Up Jamaica comes out of their own pockets to make those donations because they realize how important this is. Food security is going to be a number one priority in the world, not just in Jamaica, in the world. The United Nations has something called the 2030 Sustainable Goals that they are trying to reach. And agriculture is a huge percentage of those sustainable goals. That means that the whole world is crying out. Jamaica is one of the very few places that I've seen with all of this untouched land. Now, when I talk about it, just think about when you drive through the country of Jamaica and you see all of these empty lands just sitting on the roadsides. There's so many people that say, oh no, they're thinking about that 1 acre worth of land that's sitting behind their house. But what about all that land that you drove past to get to your house? That's sitting fallow, not doing anything. Think about it. A friend of mine that's from Germany said to me, if Jamaica was Germany, in Germany, he says, every inch of land that they can find, they plant it with something that you can eat, whether it be lettuce, tomatoes. So like all that roadside that runs along the parkways and the highways, in Germany and other countries, they farm those lands up. They farm those lands up and they create food for their country. Here's opportunities. Again, we mention things like this, but the key is to carry it out. We talk about climate smart agriculture. We are building a facility right now in South Manchester. And it is a school that will teach people how to do climate smart agriculture. It is adjacent to a 5-acre test plot where we test all of these different theories, where we've learned how to control the beet armyworm, where we've learned how to reconstruct soil, where we've learned how to create soil that doesn't require as much water as we realize that this climate is changing. Right now, I'm telling you, Farm Up Jamaica has soil that you can plant in, that you don't have to water every day. You can water every 2 days or every 3 days. And this water will be held in below you, at your plant root level, and you'll be able to not put your crop in danger, right? So here is an opportunity for all of us to get on board. Like I said to you earlier, the Prime Minister is talking about getting into agriculture. And we want to make it be known tonight that we are interested. Every diaspora that I've spoken to over the last 3 days has given me the gas to come online and talk to you today, because they realize that this is the time and we want to be a part of what's happening in Jamaica. I want to say a lot of thanks to the Ministry of Agriculture, who has supported us on numerous occasions. I'd like to say great thanks to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who has helped us in many cases. I mean, even when we did our run walk last year, the Minister herself of Foreign Affairs came out and ran in our run walk for food security in Jamaica. You know, and we want to build these things over time, because it's a movement. It's not a Jamaica movement. It's a worldwide movement. We can use this to show other countries. And again, Jamaica can be number one in something. Number one in running. Number one in music. Number one in organic food production. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Think about it. We're not trying to take over any market. That's not what this is all about. We're just trying to say that we have organic lands and we can grow organic food to help the Jamaican economy. We can grow organic food to export and let people, when we put our organic pineapple on the shelf in America, in England, in Canada, and people don't even realize that. I met a gentleman that helped to teach the Hawaiians how to plant pineapple. Now think of how profound that is. Jamaicans helped to teach the Hawaiian people how to plant pineapple. And we can't find enough pineapple to supply the country. We're still importing pineapple in many cases. So again, I talk to say that here is an opportunity. We all need to be on board. Farm Up Jamaica is an organization, again, formed to help reduce the importation of foreign food into Jamaica, increase Jamaican exports. It's formed to help put young people back into, not to give them a job, back into entrepreneurship. So we call that agri-entrepreneurship. And we're formed to help reduce crime and poverty by creating opportunities, not by putting someone to work for a minimum wage that cannot buy a car, that cannot buy a house, that cannot send your children to school. The Jamaican minimum wage is less than $100 per week. But you and I know that the prices for things in Jamaica are expensive. In many cases, even more than the United States. So you cannot offer these young people something that is not going to take them out of poverty. This is something that is going to build them and change their lives. So in many cases, when we, Jamaicans that live abroad, go to Jamaica, your nieces and your nephews can say, you know something, don't spend your money. Because guess what? We can cover you. Because we have been working, we grow X amount of lettuce, we grow this cabbage, we grow pap chow, we grow this, and we have money. And they have money in the bank. And they can travel to America. And most likely they won't want to stay in America for more than a month or 2 weeks or 10 days probably even. Because they have to get back to their farm. So if we give them something to do, they will not be idle. Simple. And so here is the whole concept. I've given it to you. Hey, Josh. Josh is our partner up in Canada that helps us to carry out organic farming and helps to raise funds for the organization. And I think Josh had a question. He said, how is the seed supply in Jamaica? Well, as you know, Josh, what we're going to be doing is this is where the import comes into play. We might have to import those seeds because we want organic seeds. We want non-GMO seeds. And then we're going to teach our Jamaicans how to seed save and have enough seeds to continue to grow. Of course, we're going to buy those what we call open pollinated seeds. And we're going to use the seeds that do the best, right? The ones that we have experience with that we know don't do well in Jamaica. I think that many Jamaican people remember agriculture. When I first started speaking about agriculture back in 2013, I didn't realize that agriculture was this popular amongst Jamaican people. A matter of fact, I thought that most Jamaicans didn't want to get their hands dirty. But each person that I would come across would have an account of a grandfather that they grew up with that used to grow this, or an uncle that they used to go to the country with. And so people have this mindset that's synonymous with agriculture, right? They remember doing certain things on the land in agriculture, even if they weren't a farmer. So I think that farming is just a part of the Jamaican culture that we have to now embrace. COVID-19 can change the whole dynamic. And again, the Prime Minister said within the next 2 weeks, there are certain things that are not going to be available in Jamaica. All right? So let that be a warning. It is time for us to plant the food that is necessary for food production and food security within the country of Jamaica. All right? It is time for us to start to seed save. And those seeds, like Josh is saying, needs to be in a seed bank, right? Because there are tons of seed banks all over the world. In North America, they keep them cool. They make sure that they're available in case there's an emergency. Does Jamaica have an emergency seed bank? Very good question. All right? Here is what we have to do. We have to get involved. We're asking the Jamaican government tonight to let's have a sit down and let's talk about how the Jamaican diaspora and the government of Jamaica can collaborate to create an international farming or agriculture experience. That will include tourism. That will include eco tours, and that will include food security. That will include even just creating the model. And that's where you might see my energy. Creating the model that other countries can use to become sustainable. My name is Neil Curtis. I am the Executive Director of Farm Up Jamaica. I thank you all for attending this live. And, okay, wait a minute. Somebody is stopping here. Pastor Perrin, Reverend Perrin says, Neil, just to concretize this important vision, we need to show the dollar amount spent by the hotel industry to import food and see the value of import substitution to the Jamaican farming community. Okay, so let's talk about that. Right now, our last I heard, because some of my naysayers will say, "Oh, you were off on a percentage or a statistic." So let's just go with what I remember best. There's $1 billion worth, roughly $1 billion US worth of food import into Jamaica. 60% of it, that means $600 million US, is being spent by hotels to bring food into Jamaica. to supply guests. Okay? Now, those guests, by the way, believe that they are eating Jamaican grown and produced food. It just goes without saying. They automatically believe that coming to a country with so much sun, so much rain, that they are eating Jamaican food. The rice may be Jamaican, the bananas are Jamaican, the pineapples are Jamaican. It's just an automatic thought. 60%. Let me give you some more statistics. And I told you one earlier. 200,000, over 200 registered farmers in Jamaica. Over 200,000 registered farmers, which roughly represents 10% of the working population. Now, let's think about this. I know this would never happen, but just think about it anyway. Let's say that each of those 200,000 farmers could create 5 jobs. That's 1 million jobs created. Do you think that farming is the solution to Jamaica's problems? Answer your own questions. Again, there are statistics that people want to know. Before I come offline, are there any questions or any comments that you'd like me to address? And if so, go ahead and type them in now, because I don't want to come off and then people say that I didn't give them an opportunity to ask specific questions. Okay, so it seems like you've gotten most of all of what you needed to know. What I want, again, for us to do, stay pinned to Farm Up Jamaica. Share our Facebook page with at least 5 people, because the more people we bring together is the stronger our voice is. And this voice is not just a Jamaica voice. This is a worldwide concern. Okay? So hold off. I got some more questions here. Every person who travel on farm program need to register with the Rural Agriculture Development Agency. Okay, so I think that everybody that wants to go and travel and do farm work out in Canada or America or abroad, you need to register with RADA. So you must go to RADA and register if you want to become a farm worker outside of Jamaica. Someone says here, I live in Queens, New York. I have my vegetable garden in my backyard, starting in the spring. Okay, so Romania, what I will tell you is that in the next day or two, Farm Up Jamaica is going to start this daily program where we're going to start planting. We're going to start to show how we do this whole Farm Up Jamaica thing. So you'll be able to literally go step by step with us. I would tell you, get yourself some seed trays from now down at Lowe's or Home Depot, and so that we can start to set those seeds in the trays. And if you need organic, non-GMO seeds, we can sell you those seeds. So you can buy them directly from us. And we're going to be encouraging Jamaicans that have backyard farms at their homes to get involved and start planting food. That's how you really farm up Jamaica. How can I get some seeds? Delroy Foster, please just reach out to us. You can inbox us. And I'm not certain if you're in Jamaica or in the United States, but if you want seeds, we can get you seeds on either side. We have more access to a more variety of seeds in the United States, but on the Jamaica side, we also have access to seeds. Are you trading on the JSE? No, we're not currently trading on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, but we have been in communications with the Social Stock Exchange, and they're putting together some hybrid system that will allow people to invest in agriculture. And so, Angela, yes, we're working on the Jamaica Stock Exchange listing, if you want to call it that. Okay, Kenya says, Neil, you are awesome. Keep up the great work. I'm going to do my part. So Kenya is one of our Jamaican farmers that live abroad that is growing food in Jamaica. And Kenya started growing these, it's a cross between, because what was happening is we were noticing that the Scotch bonnet pepper was shrinking. It kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and the heat, it wasn't very hot anymore. And many of the restaurant owners know what I'm talking about. And what Kenya and I decided is that we're going to come up with this pepper that has the heat, but also has the flavor. And so we found a pepper that mixes ghost pepper with the Scotch bonnet pepper together. And we've been seed saving, and we're going to be making that available to the market. So you'll have a very hot Scotch bonnet pepper with tons of flavor in it. A matter of fact, in her own local area where she's planting in St. Anne, she's doing very well, and lots of people want that pepper because it's so flavorful and so hot. Okay, and so Junior, who is also a part of Farm Up Jamaica, says, mention what Farm Up Jamaica actually does for people who want help through Farm Up Jamaica. So if you want to get help from Farm Up Jamaica, visit our website. The website is farmupjamaica.org, farmupjamaica.org. And when you go there, you look for a place that says become a farmer. So if you're in Jamaica, you need help. You want to transition yourself out of chemical farming into organic farming, you go to the site and you get yourself involved by becoming a farmer. We want to know things like, has the land been treated with chemicals? We want to know how much land you have there. We want to know where it's located. We want to make sure it's connected to a farming community, meaning that there are other people farming in the area. Because ultimately, we want to do this district by district. And we want enough food in each district to be able to supply a truckload of food when the trucks go there to receive this organic food. Just go to Farm Up Jamaica and we can assist. But normally what we want is we want somebody within the diaspora that is attached to these farms to become a part in what we're doing for that community, right? So we ask that people, if you are a part of a community in Jamaica, we want you to be a part of the fundraising that we're going to use to get that community going. We want you to be a part of the planting and the harvesting. So, it's not just a Farm Up Jamaica thing. This is a all hands on deck, straight up. This is a COVID-19, we got to get going type of situation that everybody needs to understand. Like, things can change real quickly right now. And I know that, I'm coming to you and we're all comfortable probably in our homes because nobody wants to come outside. But you can go outside in your backyard. You can start to practice what we're going to start to teach. Again, share our page and ask people to like this page. It's important. It'd be great to have 1 million likes because that is a voice that we can now say to the powers that be that we need help and we want to also help, right? And so it's not just a take situation, but we want to give. And so, again, get your people involved, send people to Farm Up Jamaica. Let's like this page. Let's get these numbers up. Okay, Angela, involuntary returned Mecca. My population would need this service. I'm not certain what that is. Well, maybe you'll explain that to me a bit. Let's see. That could be why the farm numbers are so high. Okay. Let's see. Where do you get your seeds? We get seeds locally in the United States, but we handpick seeds. So I get seeds that work in the zone, the Jamaica zone, right? Because, if you look at seed charts tell you what seeds are good for what area. And then not only when you get the seed from Farm Up Jamaica, it's a seed that we've already tested. So we already know that it's going to work in Jamaica, right? It's not a seed that we're going to have to go trial and wait to see if it does well. It's a seed that we know is going to do well. So
If you get seeds from us for Jamaica, you just buy them directly from Farm Up Jamaica. But we get them from local farmers that are non-GMO farmers, that are organic farmers, and really stick to the trade. They really won't go step out of organic. It has to be organic or nothing else. Josh says, plant it up. How do you manage to keep the seeds organic? Well, we use organic farm practices. We make sure that we protect our farm by building barriers around the edges to make sure that if anything is blowing in the air, that it's not going to end up on our farm, because it would get caught within the perimeter of when we put up those barriers. Delroy says, Northeast Manchester. Where is your office in Jamaica? We have an office in Jamaica in Kingston. It's never attended, I must tell you, because we are always out in the field. We are serious about agriculture. When I come back to New York, I am dark because I've been in the sun. I am beat because many times I sleep on the farm. All right? I can tell you that. The people that work with me will tell you that I'm on the farm. Like, you don't find me sitting in an office. We don't kick up feet. We are down there, and the limited amount of time that we have on the ground, we make sure that we utilize that, because it's very exciting when you reconstruct soil that was dead, that people told you nothing will ever grow there. And then you look and see the earthworms coming home, and you look and see the cabbage or the pepper or whatever it is that you're planting all of a sudden springing out. So this is exciting for us. I don't know about anybody else, but I love what I do for Farm Up Jamaica. The people that are involved in Farm Up Jamaica, our Farm Up Jamaica team, whether it be Miss Cole, whether it be Troy, whether it be and many of the other people, Mr. Garwood, our Barbara, are the different people that we have on the ground. We have a whole staff on the ground, that make sure that the practices are upheld and continuous, even when I'm not there. And they do it for the love. We don't do it for the likes. So the key is understand that this is something that's very dear to us. The people that are involved in this are invested. They're invested morally. They're invested with their hearts and minds and souls and bodies, right? And so let me continue to read here the questions. I have a quarter acre lot for lease in Copeland. Small crops, only peas, yams, cabbage, tobacco, in Newport, Manchester. Not certain. Oh, Newport. I know where Newport is. Just inbox me, Carrie Ann, and I can figure out if there's somebody that we can match you up with for that, and that could do some organic farming. Seed production needs to follow organic standards and get audited once a year. So, Josh, this is true. And so you know that and people probably don't know this, but Farm Up Jamaica was the first organization to certify organic turmeric and ginger and cacao, chocolate, in Jamaica. We were the first to do it. And and it wasn't Farm Up Jamaica. So every time I say Farm Up Jamaica, just think that we're a selfless organization. Because what we did was we certified the farmers. We helped them to get certified through Farm Up Jamaica. So we didn't go out and try to certify ourselves. We don't own land in Jamaica. We assist farmers that have land. We assist people that have land. Or people that are farmers that can afford to take it to the next level. That's what we assist. We don't go out and do our own things. So we're out there trying to help other people to make this a reality. And we believe that the return on our investment is that we will have organic food to buy back or to sell to the markets or to eat, right? We want good, healthy food to eat when we go to Jamaica in many cases, right? And so Laverne Turner says, repeat the website, please. So it's farmupjamaica.org. FARMUP, up. So we're farming up Jamaica. Like I said, we'll farm up that piece of land. We're going to farm up Jamaica. So Miss Cole just put it up in the in the comments. Okay. I have a lot of earthworm in my backyard. Well, that is a good sign. When you have a lot of earthworms, then you don't need to buy things like earthworm castings. So people don't realize the earthworms and the waste from the earthworms is what actually helps to grow your plants, right? So when you go into a soil that has tons of earthworms, that soil is very rich. You want earthworms in your soil. A matter of fact, I'm going to show you something. Genesis, do me a favor. Pass that bag right there for me. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. You just mentioned earthworms, and I'm going to show you why I'm telling you that that's very important. Earthworm castings. It says, no, read the back. Earthworm casting. We hope that this is very informative for you. We hope that earthworm castings? No, the other one. And we hope that this gives you guys inspiration to want to go back home and farm. And I think that it's going to, if you connect with Farm Up Jamaica, it says earthworm casting. If you connect with Farm Up Jamaica, and we can connect in, let's say, the United States before we go to Jamaica, it makes it easier because we kind of get a little bit of information about your community in Jamaica before we even get there. And we can start to make things happen. It's in one of those bags, small bags, earthworm castings. Hold on, Romania. I'm going to show you something. So, you ask about earthworms. Earthworms are very important. You see, this, I use this here. You see this? Earthworm, what does it say? Earthworm castings. This is the waste, the fecal matter of the earthworm. And this is what we use in many of our projects. And so, these are some of the things that are very important that people wonder, oh, well, how are you growing these tomatoes at such alarmingly big sizes and they're still organic? Or how are you, growing certain plants that look so healthy, right? We this one time we did a soil reconstruction where we realized that the soil had been beaten down so bad, and we reconstructed the soil, just putting back the things that were necessary in the soil. And we grew sweet pepper in 24 days, okay? Full size, American size, green pepper, okay? In 24 days in South Manchester. Now, don't let me, this sounds like a big fish story, right? It's not, because I didn't grow them. Students from the Heart Trust NTA that were studying agriculture that came to work with Farm Up Jamaica, they kept a logbook, and they kept records of how long this plant actually took to come to fruition. 24 days. That means that a plant that should have taken 60 days grew to full size organically using Farm Up Jamaica techniques in only 24 days. And the key to it was, after we constructed the soil, we only used sunlight and water to bring it to fruition. Now, we had a control plot on the other side of the field that we were using organic inputs in. And that field took all of the 60 days to come to fruition. But this side, where we just gave Mother Nature what she needed, was enough to bring this plant to fruition in all of 24 days organically. So, again, these are the technical advancements, our technological advancements that we have used. And we want Jamaicans to understand that farming has evolved since the 1900s. And organic farming has evolved. So don't believe because you're going to do organic farming you're going to get small crops. That's not true. Look at the Farm Up Jamaica Facebook page. Scroll through our photos. Look at the size of our produce. You'll see that we grow food that is competitive in the market and grows. Now, some people think it's going to take a longer time to grow. That's not true either. When you get the seed packet tells you 70 days, 60 days, 50 days. Now, if you find a way to beat those 50 or 60 days, God bless you if it's organic. Now, if you're using chemicals, pesticides, this and that, we don't know what the time frame could be. Because to us, what you're doing is throwing off the plant life's cycle, right? So just think about it like a woman that's having a baby. It takes 9 months to have a child. So if your seed packet says 60 days, you should have lettuce in 60 days. If you got it in 40, it's probably premature. It probably doesn't have the correct nutrients. It probably doesn't have what it's supposed to have to make it healthy for you to consume. So these are the things that you have to understand about food. Not everybody understands the whole chemistry of food. But some of those things that are being sprayed on the plants, they don't digest in your system. Your system takes those things and it stores it in the most acidic parts of your body. And that's how you end up with the growths. You know, I shouldn't be saying that type of stuff because, you know, I'm no doctor and I'm not saying it, but I'm just letting you guys know, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. My name is Neil Curtis. I'm the Executive Director of Farm Up Jamaica. And if you have any additional questions, inbox me or send us a message. Visit us on the web, www.farmupjamaica.org. If you want to email us, you can email me directly at Neil, Neil, at farmupjamaica.org. Neil, Neil, at farmupjamaica.org. If you want to get us on Instagram, we're at Farm Up Jamaica. If you want to call us, our number is 516. If you're in the States, it's 516-376-1626. Again, if you're in the States, it's 516-376-1626. If you're in Jamaica, it's 876-592-5992. Again, if you're in Jamaica, it's 876-592-5992. Again, you want to get us by email? Neil at farmupjamaica.org. You want to get us by phone? 516-376-1626. You want to get us by phone in Jamaica? It's 876-592-5992. And I think that's about all of the information that I can give to you. But again, it's Farm Up Jamaica. It's a movement that everybody needs to be involved in. And everybody that's watching, we're asking you to share this page. We're asking you to ask people to like this page. The more likes that we have on this page is the more voice that we're getting out to people. People need to understand we're in the apocalyptic times right now. Food is going to be very important. Mark my word. And the tutorials that we're going to be giving from starting either tomorrow or the following day, just stay posted to Farm Up Jamaica on Facebook. You'll see what we're going to be doing. We're going to be showing you how to plant this food organic and get full-size vegetables with no pests and using less water. All right? We're going to reduce the usage of water by 2/3. That means all of our farmers that are in Jamaica that complain about drought, right? That complain about drought, we are going to reduce their usage of water by 2/3. That's a whole lot of water reduction. That is why we call it climate smart agriculture, organic climate smart agriculture, because it's organic and it's helping the environment. I didn't even want to get into how much carbon we reduce. Because there's a whole next, you know what? I'll save that for the next live. But we help to reduce the carbon footprint in Jamaica. We know how to slow down the release of carbon, and to almost so minimal that it's great information that we're going to end up sharing. But we know how to reduce the carbon footprint in Jamaica. And so we're going to be bringing that out into the open really soon. We hope that you would help us to complete our Climate Smart Institute. So if any one of you want to donate to the cause, go to our website. And as soon as you get to the website, it says help us to finish building our school. And we're allowing people to buy a block, a literal block that would, it's a thermal block. So it's a block that is also helping to reduce the carbon footprint. And we're going to etch your name into the stone. Anybody that makes the contribution will have their name on the wall of the building, etched into stone to show that you helped to build this structure. And so we're asking that everyone make a donation to help us complete the Climate Smart Institute in New Forest, South Manchester. The pictures are up there. They're on our website. If you scroll down into the Facebook page, you'll see more pictures of this institute that we're building. And it's an international place. It's a place where people can come and learn how to reduce carbon in the environment and to learn how to farm organically. So you guys that are all watching this, that found this so very interesting, you can come and actually stay at a location, because once that school is built, it will have a dorm area where you can actually come and stay on the farm and help to plant food and help to reduce importation of foreign food into Jamaica, put young people back into farming, reduce the carbon footprint, and do all of these wonderful, wonderful things. Why aren't we all just holding hands and singing Kumbaya? My name is Neil Curtis, again, Executive Director of Farm Up Jamaica. And, got one more question. Promote a summer school in the prominent high schools. We are working with some schools. Matter of fact, we're working with the Esher Primary School down in Hanover. And we're partnered with the Hanover Charities. That is a part of the Round Hill Hotel. And that we always sell our produce to when we get it. They just took some wonderful romaine lettuce from us. But there was no children in the school to donate the organic lettuce to, so we had to end up giving that lettuce to a soup kitchen that was in the same vicinity. So again, there's tons of things that are going on in Farm Up Jamaica that I can't get involved in. You know, we have this huge onion production thing going on up in Old Harbour, right, where we're helping this one particular farmer to plant onions to help reduce importation of onions into the country. We are also helping other farmers to grow peppers and Scotch bonnet peppers and that new pepper that I spoke to you guys about earlier, which is a cross between Scotch bonnet and the ghost pepper, to give people that hot and flavorful pepper all over again. We're doing wonderful things, and we just hope that everybody would want to be a part of it, and we want everybody to become a part of it. We all need to come together in order to get this work done. So as soon as you guys are ready, I'm willing to take every one of you that are watching here right now to Jamaica, and let's go and stay on a farm together. Plant some food, even if it's one day or a couple of hours. Just take a little bit of time out of your wonderful vacation or visit to your family to come back home and work with a program that can help to better Jamaica, because we all love Jamaica. Again, I'm going to close. My name is Neil Curtis, Executive Director of Farm Up Jamaica. Thank you, and bye-bye.